And I feel like I'm at a race. 3, 2, 1, go. Welcome, YouTube pipe smokers. I'm all briared up. I'm going to smoke my Mondo Dublin from Phil Rivara. Got to take a moment to appreciate this gorgeous stem with beautiful orange on it. He always knocks them out of the park, I'll say that. This beautiful band work he did. Hey, Donnie, how you doing, brother? I'm going to smoke a blend I made during a live called, well, they were going to call it 100% solution or something like that, and the way I measured it out, I only got up to 76%, so I said it's 76% solution, and there isn't much left, so I'm going to smoke it. I don't remember what it has. Seems like some Perique, some Turkish, and who knows what else. Hey, Patrick. Hey, Todd. Good to see you guys. Well, I'm excited for you to be back, Hillbilly. I should have a couple of pipes done this week, and then maybe one done over the weekend. And once these two are done, I'll start doing the final sanding on yours and shape out the rest of the one stem, and we'll be good to go. Man, that didn't fill the bowl. I got to find something to fill the bowl. So it'll be good. And I had started blending some blends. I ended up sending some out because I didn't want to leave them in the Ziploc bags to dry out. So I'll do more of yours and get your package ready when you're back or when you're closer to back, so that when the box is ready and they're sitting there, they don't dry out too much. Oh, we gotta see. This is one I've missed. This was one of my favorite blends, is one of my favorite blends, but I need to find some more or blend something else up. I got a blend in this tin of Hearth and Home Harvest Moon. I don't know what's in it either, so we're just going to mix things in. Hey, DDT, welcome in. Okay, nice. Well, if I haven't, then about the 20th, I'll do the blending and start getting things gathered up a little better. I've got a box ready. I just need to fill it up. Oh, no problem, Dan. No problem. It's a beautiful night. Man, my goodness, it's so nice out. I almost can't handle it. Now, that was an easy light. This is fairly dry. So that was actually a little bit of Harvest Moon and something else I threw in there, but that's all right. Yeah, I don't even know what the temperature is. Let's see. Temperature here. 61. Nice cool evening. I'll probably open the window in a little bit and let nice cool fresh air fill the room. It'll be really nice. Hey Jeff, great to see you, brother. Yeah, it's hey, welcome in, Hunter. We did get the last little bit of that of you saying bye. So yeah, I think you said that one pipe was a cherry wood pipe. I always love the way that one looks. That always catches my eye. In American units, nice, Dan. Yeah, what would Celsius be? What is 61 degrees Fahrenheit in Celsius? 61 degrees Fahrenheit is equivalent to 16.111. It's 16 degrees Celsius, so it sounds cold. It's always strange to me that at a certain degree they line up. 40 degrees or something like that they line up, which is weird because it's like, how could it be colder here but still be the same there? But it's nice night. 42 at night, that's not bad. I like it cooler. You know, I'd rather be able to put on a sweater than just be hot and uncomfortable. If things work a certain way, then sometime down the road, who knows? Maybe we'll switch locales and minus 38. Okay. I knew it was some, I thought it was 40, but close. Oh, that's nice of you, man. 80, that's plenty warm. That's too warm for me at night. And it's funny because we've got this. When this room was put on, we were talking windows, and I picked the size, and my dad said those are going to be huge windows. They turned out to be just perfect. I put the shades on them, and that was one thing I did perfect as well. I measured a lot, and it was amazing. They're perfectly straight and lined up, and the two side ones are a little bit narrower, not much, and then the front one's a little bigger. But I did put a ceiling fan in, and we don't need an air conditioner right now with that ceiling fan in. So for these first couple of strange weeks and probably month where the temperature's deciding if it's going to be cold or warm, the ceiling fan is all we need. We got it on low, and it's perfect. Without it, it's crazy how warm it can feel. Well, that's nice of you, man. And yeah, I'm thinking probably yours will probably be mailed out next week. I don't want to guarantee Thursday or Friday because Thursday's just around the corner, and I know it's going to take the stain. It's going to take probably about 4 days for stain at best, maybe 5. And then, well, probably about 5, and then it's going to take another day or so for wax. So probably early next week, maybe Tuesday, maybe Wednesday kind of thing. But I always let you guys know. I'll send you tracking and that kind of stuff. And Oh, there you go. Ooh, Sun Bear. That is a good one. I need to smoke some of that. It's been a while. And I got some right here. This one's from, I think this is maybe my 2019. I was digging through blends the other day, and the 2019 was at the back, and it's up front now, so I don't know. I think that's 2019. Um, I'll send you a message. I'll send you a message, man. I'll let you know. I'll send through there, and we'll work it out. No big deal. Hey, Paul, great to have you, buddy. Yeah, the worst ours has gotten was like minus 48 Fahrenheit. It was ridiculous, and that's very, very rare. Um, or minus 43, something like that. But usually it's in the 30s, 20s. I think it was 43. Oh yeah, happy birthday, man. Yeah, we'll work something out, no problem, buddy. Um, gosh, if it feels good because if I snap back to 4 or 5 days ago, it was like, man, I felt not quite overwhelmed, just almost like, man, how am I going to get back on working on the pipes and get this stuff done? Couple of difficult days, but yesterday and today have been very good. And I'm hoping for just a couple more good days where I can get a lot done. I can get a lot done in one day if it's a really good day. Because things keep working right, everything works. The nice thing is, well, like tonight, this was a really good night because in Google Meet, I finished up your rustication and the sanding and taped it up so it's all ready to stain the rustication. Um, and I think you're right. I think I was thinking of the colors because I know you didn't want them too dark, but I do think chocolate on the rustication will be good. Rustication looks good dark. And yeah, and plateau. Rustication and plateau look good either way. Thank you, Paul. Yeah, some of those days it's just like, man, I can't do it. But it's cool because now yours is taped up, so I'll stain the rustication tomorrow. That'll be, that's still being worked on while it's sitting there. So that's good. That's still making progress. So I'll get that stained and have it getting, absorbing it and that kind of stuff. Hopefully Thursday, I'll sand the base stain. Well, I won't sand it much on the rustication. I'll do real light little sanding. I may not even need to give it a second hit because that chocolate does make a very nice, dark, rich brown if it's not with just one coat. So maybe I'll do the rustication one coat and give it till like Friday afternoon and then do the reverse the tape because I don't want to take anything off of it. And I'll use a Q-tip to stain that because the deals it comes with are fantastic. But I will most likely get into something I don't want to. One pipe I stained today, I didn't want to hit plateau and I barely did, and I should have taped it. It's not a big deal because I may just stain that with the chocolate or with brown or something. But yeah, it looks good anyway. So I sanded it today, restained it, and then tomorrow at some point, so I'll have 2 pipes stained, and then tomorrow I'll sand and put a second coating on Paul's pipe. I'll see how it looks tomorrow and determine if it needs a second coating for the black part. I probably will sand it and then do another coating, just because it's going to be a volcano. You want it pretty dark. And then I'll be on to the smooth of yours and the lava part of Paul's. So it's nice because when those kind of projects are done, then you have 3 pipes, 2 or 3 pipes drying, waiting for the next day, and that gives you some time to work on another pipe or 2. And I'm excited. I'm so close. One good day I could get that. One really good day I could be almost done with that bulldog, or at least ready to stain. One really great day of sanding or 2, then I could stain it. So that one's got a little more work, but yeah, it just depends on the day. Some days I have half an hour I can put into something, or 20 minutes, and some days I can't even do that. Or some days it's like, okay, I'm going to go out here and stain, or let's say I'm going to go out and start making a pipe for a person. And maybe that day all I can do is some light sanding. So I'll sand on it a little bit and then set it aside and start sanding others. And some days are better for drilling, but it seems like they're all coming together pretty quickly. Phil talks about giving him 6 to 8 weeks. And I understand that, because you never know with life what's going to happen. And he's always got a lot of commissions on. And yeah, when I have 2 days or 3 that I can't work on anything at all, I feel like, man, this is going to take a long time. But really, so far it's been within 2 weeks. Usually I can have one done. It just depends. But everybody who's gotten one has been so understanding. And the last thing I'm going to do, if I have to tell, like, let's say I project a day it's going to go out and that day doesn't work, the last thing I want to do is go in there, have an issue, and screw up a pipe. So if I'm not totally as sure as I can be, I'm not going to mess up somebody's pipe, because I know, as someone who's gotten pipes, 1 day wait is much better than having to have the pipe restarted, Oh, nice. Thanks for relaying that to us, man. And it's really fascinating to me, Paul, because I got to this part with your pipe and with RD's. Like, RD's, I was ready to rusticate, and yours, I didn't know how I was going to do the rustication. And then once that was done, I just needed to do some final sanding. And I was like, man, I've got this little bit of work to do on these. They're close. And all of a sudden, after that sanding and the rustication being done, it's like, okay, now it's really taken off. Now everything's just moving right along. I mean, the base coat's stained on yours already. That's pretty good. So hopefully next Wednesday or before, I can mail yours and Hunter's out. And everybody's been getting their boxes from me, which is so great. I've had really good luck, knock on Briar. And Andrew got some samples. Terry's box with his pipe already arrived, and he got his samples, so they're trying them in Google Meet, and so far everything's been good. Yeah, and I'll always let you know. I'll always let you know when I send it out or when I'm on my way to put it into the mail, and I'll update you guys. I won't be at home and say, yeah, I'm sending it out today, or tomorrow guaranteed. All I can just say is, well, my goal is tomorrow or something like that. But I am smoking some different mixtures I made. This one was Harvest Moon by Hearth and Home with something I added in it, but it's very good. And it also on the bottom has a blend I made called 76% Solution, made during a live, and just finished that. So when I get to that, that's Burley, Perique, and Turkish, if I remember correctly. And then this is from May of last year. This is John's Old Dark Fired Special Jose Reserve. So I'm saving that because I do want to send him a box here down the road. Excellent, Zippo, and welcome in, brother. And then I'm smoking it in my Rivara Jumbo Dublin, which is a pipe I hope to replicate at some point because I love that shape. And that would be a very comfortable one for me to do, and I love big pipes. What did you smoke last, Hunter? Yeah, the last one I smoked was Byzantium after I'd smoked a few heavier blends, and I was like, I set my pipe down when I was getting the live started, and I'm like, what am I gonna smoke? I'm like, I'm almost fried. And then I thought of a few others I could do. Yeah, man. Is that clearing up for you? And that is a nice pipe, DDT. I really admired that one, man. I've looked into Brigham for years and I've just never gotten one. Some point I'll get one. I didn't have luck with Chacombe, but I'm gonna see if I can alter that pipe and keep it, or at least make it a good smoker and pass it along. Because this was the first pipe I got Mabu, and it's just one that she just never uses. I've gotten her a couple of others, a Meerschaum, a Nording, and Hillbilly Piper Center one, and it's, she's got one she'll smoke over the Chacom anyway. So she said, if you can't fix it up, sell it, and I won't pass anything along to anybody that isn't good. So if it ends up being sold, rest assured that I'll re-drill it and do all that stuff, do all the cleaning, everything. And it was barely used. I think she used it. I think it's been used less than 10 times, I'm pretty sure. Probably half of that. But I'll re-drill it and make it good, because I'm not going to pass anything to anybody that isn't perfect. That's what I'm thinking is the solution for it, Dan, is just to open up the draft a bit. And for Kentucky, yeah, it's one of those nights I'm feeling the tobacco today. I didn't even smoke that much, but I'm just feeling it more. Oh man, Zippo, I'm sorry, buddy. Thank you, Paul. Dennis went good. So years ago, so my wife's dad was in the Navy, and they went everywhere. And when she was real young, she had some not good dentists. And now we're correcting a lot of their work. Our previous dentist, before he retired, was very good and fixed a lot of issues. And then now this dentist, who's really good as well, did a good job. They're not bad priced for what everybody's charging anyway, and we trust them and they do a good job. They're not BSing us. You need this, this, and this, and this. They're showing us all the pictures of the stuff, and she's got a lot. She's about halfway done. I think 2 more visits ought to do it. But they put in silver root canals over a decade ago, and we're removing them. And we found out there's an infection under a couple of them, and just these guys are taking care of it and doing great, putting new epoxy in and that kind of stuff. They're doing a good job. So, but it did go very smoothly. She's feeling really good. She's sore, and it's weird for her because up here is numb all the way down. But yeah, it went as good as it could have done. So thank you for asking. I'll let her know. Yeah, P-lips I enjoy too. I've got a Peterson Deluxe System rusticated P-lip, and I put one of the rubber bits on it, and it hangs comfortably just over my, one of those pointy teeth. Doesn't pull hard or anything. It's a really nice one. Yeah, and Burley will be sneaky to me. Sometimes Burley will hit me in one blend but not in another. But I'll have to blend something while I'm here. I smoked some Irish whiskey, and I smoked it in this Eric Weaver jumbo apple, inch diameter. And I think it's because it was pretty dry. It burnt fast, and that beat me up. Let's see what I even have to blend with over here. I have everything in boxes across by the couch because I was blending stuff for people. So I got some Dark Fired Ready Rub. So we'll try this. This will be the right before bedtime kind of smoke in a little bit. And got some Latakia. Yeah, you can. I'm thinking there's a Virginia. Oh, one that works fairly well also, Paul, is the Sutliff. The regular Virginia, their popular one. I can't think of what it's called. That one works kind of no matter which way you want to go. I do that with some Turkish and maybe some Lane BCA or some kind of topped Cavendish. You might have good luck hitting sour with that. And then you could always throw in a little bit of like yellow Virginia for sweetness. That's a lot of Latakia. That's not quite what I'm going for in that blend. The sweet and sour smell sounds good. I bet it smells good too. I can't even tell you. Because sometimes with Turkish, if it's a topped black Cavendish, can make a sour note. So that may be what does it for you. The Sutliff Black Cavendish is pretty good, the B20, but it's not really topped. So like Lane BCA would be good. There was a Cavendish I had the other day. I don't think it was golden Cavendish, but you could try that. I haven't tried that for a sour. One of these days I'll have to, when I'm having a day that I can't really do much in the shop, maybe I'll sit down and see if I can come up with something kind of close, um, to maybe help you in that direction. As I haven't tried to make a sour blend. I made some by accident, but not any that I can recall. Oh man, Dan. Hey, speaking of Dan, how you doing, Dan Lopez? Good to see you, brother. Sweet and sour mustard blend. If you can nail that, that sounds good. A lot of blends, people will go, "Oh, I don't know about that." But then when you nail it, it's like, "Holy cow, this person is really good at this." So I'd stick with it. That seems like a blend that is going to stay on your mind for a long time. And I had a blend, well, pistachio, perfect example and good timing to be here, Dan Lopez, because pistachio I worked on for a short time, found a good recipe for it, kept overlooking the recipe in my notes, forgot about it. Several months later, Dan reminded me pistachio, and I remade it, and it's pistachio. It's awesome. And it took a while. Sometimes you just got to come back to it, keep it on the back burner and revisit it. So may just, I've only had that happen for pistachio and a couple of coffee blends before I got to Irish coffee. But then when I got to Irish coffee, it's like, wow, this is a great coffee blend. So sometimes, even if you don't like it, they take longer than you want them to. So then at some point, because I've been doing these, so the deal with the pipe season, it's usually going to be a 2-month thing, 2 types of pipes. So this season for me is May and June are Bulldog and Churchwarden. I made a video, but I'll say it here as well. Commissions are still welcome. That doesn't disclude anything. They're just side projects I'm going to work on and just start really focusing on. And then my mom was talking about maybe if somebody commissioned those shapes during those seasons, then they'd get a discount or something like that. And I think that's a good idea. I am honored, Dan. I'm so grateful that it turned out to be what you were looking for, man. I really am, because that was, it came together well during that live, but that was just one that I worked hard on. Oh yeah, and I got your message. I'll take a look. After this, I'll get back to you and I'll check all my messages and stuff. But I did see the notification. But in July is going to be like chimney pipe, tall pipe month. I don't know what August will be. Maybe July and August. Yeah, maybe July and August will be Rhodesian and chimney pipes. Because that gives me time to make them, and if I got the order, like let's say it's the last day of June and somebody wants to get that pipe commissioned with a discount, it'll still count through those 2 months. It isn't like, well, I'm sorry, I'll be working on these through the time. It's if they're commissioned, then it's included kind of thing till maybe like midnight on the last day of that month. I think that'd be cool. Oh, I made a root beer blend, Paul. It's very good. I'll have to share the ingredients and let you know because it turned out as close as I could get to root beer at this time. You know, it always changes. Maybe next year I'll find something even better, but so far this is really good. Oh, okay. Awesome, Dan. That's my favorite thing about it too. Now, some of my blends, like the Irish coffee, I've used some Lane RLP6, but the vast majority of my blends, probably around 75-80%, are non-flavored or top tobaccos whatsoever, maybe even more percentage than that. Yeah, I don't, there are some top tobaccos I like, but you can make pretty aromatic blends without using topped tobaccos. And the original slogan or title of aromatics was a tobacco that was pleasant to smell and was not usually like an English style or something like that. You could even have Englishes that were borderline aromatic because they smelled really good. But yeah, sure thing, man. I'll probably email you tomorrow. Because I'm gonna be moving some things around. You guys can't see, but I have some boxes and some jars and some bags that fell out of a box, and but I'll organize some stuff here, and I'll get my notebook, and I'll be sitting here at some point tomorrow, probably in the morning, moving some things around and organizing again. So I'll have my notebook handy and be doing that. So it may be it'd be a good time for me to get that to you because it's really good. Yeah, sounds great, Hunter. And I'll send you. I'll add some samples when I send you your pipe. And yeah, and I think I still have all the components I need for root beer. I'm sure I do. Um, I think the only things I'm short on is like Lane BCA, Lane RLP6, and there's like two other types I want to get. There's four components that I use to blend with that I'm getting low on, but I think I still have everything I need for root beer. Hey, Smarty Bob, good to have you, brother. How you doing? Sounds good, Hillbilly. Gans damn it, it's Monclod Mike. How are you doing, buddy? Yeah, bulk's the way to go. I've used my favorite blends to use or like brands have been Sutliff and C&D, but I've also used some of everything. I've even used Warhorse Bar and Lane BCA, Aged Maduro Cavendish. So I've used Lane, Gawith and Hogarth. Primarily, though, it's Sutliff, Lane, and well, in the order would probably be Sutliff, C&D, pretty close to the same amount, like frequency that I use them, and then Lane as well. But Sutliff was a great way to go. I made a lot of blends with Sutliff. I've even used Four Aces Turkish, but Sutliff, if you're searching for blending components, if you go into pipes and cigars, yeah, Four Aces, Ramback. Oh, and what is the other one? Peter Stokeby, 313 Oriental is a fantastic quality Oriental, and I use that and Sutliff Latakia, and I make a killer English blend out of those. It's amazing. Oh, Smarty Bob. Yeah, PS 313. That's right. Yeah, I was at the same place for a while. I think for the first probably year. Oh, yes, and T24, TS12, I think is Latakia. J4 Burley is fantastic with blending. I've done blending with Prince Albert, but Carter Hall. But Carter Hall has a flavor with it. It has that topping, and a lot of times it clashes with what you're trying to do, kind of like BCA can do. Whereas like Sutliff B20 Cavendish just gives to the blend, and you don't really have to work around it too much. That's how the TS12 Latakia is. And I mean, you can do different things too. You can even use H&H Latakia. H&H Ready Rubbed is at tobacco pipes. That'll save you like $20, $25 for the same product as getting it in a tin. And the Latakia flake, those are very good. Gawath and Hogarth is very good quality. They're rich blends. They're very good for blending. You need small amounts. The Golden Virginia is awesome. It adds sweetness, but too much can give tongue bite, especially with a lot of Burley or Cavendish. So like one time I was trying to blend and get more sweetness, so I kept adding Cavendish and more Cavendish, and it turned out I was just making it bite more. And then I found Yellow Virginia, and that's just the sweetness. But Golden Virginia is very good too for a light sweetness and a tiny bit of tang in some blends I've done. But if you go, yeah, J4 is amazing. J4 is amazing, and Dan Lopez got me onto that one. Yeah, there you go. Oh, nice, Monclaude. Yeah, but I was that same way, Smarty Bob. It started with just messing with different blends that existed. And then I thought, I wonder what I can do with blending tobacco. So if you go to Pipes and Cigars, if you're looking for like, say, Perique, if you search blending Perique or blending Latakia, you'll find stuff you need much faster. If you don't put blending in it, it's like a treasure hunt. Most cases you won't just happen upon those bulk blends of the blending tobaccos, but they do make very good quality blending tobaccos. Yeah, and I've got 5 pounds, I think, of whole leaf. I've gotten some into jars, some of one of the red Virginias, I think it was. I blended with that, and that's a whole nother world. But I didn't do much curing. I was just trying it. They're better cured anyway. Yeah, feel free to ask any questions, man. I've blended everything from Honey Nut Cheerios to plum jelly on toast. I did do blending with actual like fruit. I used apple rum. I made an apple blend that was great. And that's pretty easy stuff to do. Just topping your own blends with natural stuff is pretty easy. And then I made a lemon blend that smelled like lemon chocolate cake. And I was making it upstairs, and half of upstairs is living room and half is kitchen. And there was almost a line you could see where it was combating a roast being cooked or something that normally smells the whole house up. And then here you had lemon chocolate cake. And then if I smoked that with a little bit of perique, you actually had lemon pepper, and it was awesome. So, yes, Patrick, I smoke all of I made one blend for myself one day without having smoked a component first. But it ended up fine anyway. But other than that one component, I think it was I'm sure it was white burley. And then I went back and smoked it on its own. But otherwise, yeah, every blend I make, I try each component, whether it's perique or something or whatever, try them all before I blend with them, because then you get some kind of a stardom in your memory. And a lot of the blends, a lot of that 2 or 3 kind of already blended blends put together, trying that stuff, you build a lot of experience doing that. Just smoke the pipe, you're learning, your brain's getting that information even when you don't realize it. Then a lot of times you have epiphanies. You're blending something and you go, oh, that one time I smoked that one blend that was like this. Maybe the burley component of that's what gave that blend that flavor, and that's what I'm trying to put into this. So there's no harm in, like you said, Bob, trying early on and going, well, I'm not really a blender, I'm just mixing stuff. That adds a lot of useful information that you may not realize till later down the road. And then when you do get into using just components and doing the whole blending yourself, then you get to times where, like, I think the most components I put in a single blend was 8 or 9 components. I think 8. And then I have some blends that are amazing that are 2 components. But that's valuable information you're getting just starting. I smoked about 1.5 years before I did any real serious mixing of just a couple of blends here and there. I did it here and there throughout my first year a little bit, but never wrote them down or considered them. And that's an amazing fact right there too. You can be a person that does not like burley and find really good burleys that shock you. I was having that issue. I found Granger, and it turns out it's really good as a blending burley. J4 burley is really good as a blending burley. You could blend about any blend with that. But that one and Granger are my 2 go-tos if I'm adding burley into a blend. Or dark burley, which is extremely dark. One blend I've got, I sent Southern Piper, and that is Sahara. Let's see, Scorched Sahara Throat Punch. And that one, yeah, Granger's good on its own. It is really fantastic for blending. Gives you a very nice, intentional kind of burly taste. And so I'm thinking the cube cut is similar to that. It's that, when you're like, I really want a distinct burly taste, Granger does that. It's very, very helpful in blending. All right, so I've got the ready rubbed Old Dark Fired and some Latakia. And that sounds like something that might be good with some Turkish. What do I have? What kind is this one? Oh, that's not what I was looking for. Shoot. See, in this case, I will use 4 aces. I'm going to grab it real quick. All right. Yeah, 4 aces Turkish surprised the heck out of me that it's a very good one. It's kind of like Smyrna and Ribbon Turkish already blended. So it's a very handy filler, very good to use, flavorful, adds to a blend very well. Awesome, Smarty Bob. Oh, yeah, and Crooner's very good. I've had that, too. That's a very good one. So this is just Dark Fired, Turkish, and Latakia. I thought about Cavendish, but I've been using Cavendish through blending during the last few days, and I'll do something different now. Yeah, I got a pack. I didn't know they were 2 packs. They were like, get 2 for $1 or 2 for $2 or something. So I got them both, realized they were already double packs. So the 50-cent pouch I tried of the regular 4 aces, I didn't care for it. But definitely the 4 aces Turkish is a very good quality. I thought 4 aces isn't going to be anything, and it was very good. Izmir, yeah, I actually thought I had it right by me, so I peeked out for that, but it's over there. Because I almost grabbed that, but in my mind I pictured this type of Turkish over Izmir. If Izmir would have been right here, I would have used it, but kind of glad it wasn't, because I did want to try more along the lines of the 4 aces for this one. Oh, nice, Dan. Yeah, and some matches aren't even that bad. Some are pretty surprising. Let's see. Yeah, and Peter Stoke, 312 is very good. For me, yeah, that one, Granger's a close second, I'd say, to the 312. As far as intentional burley, especially in a blend. I don't know. It just, Granger smells good and blends good, and yeah, 312 is fantastic as well. Oh, goodness. Smarty Bob, I went through that a lot, and I still do that occasionally. I'm getting better, so if I just make a quick blend like now, well, if I turn it, it's going to slide. If it turns out good enough, then I'll go write it down right away. Sometimes what I even do is, if I have a really good feeling about a blend, is I'll portion it out how I want, take a picture of it with my phone, and I'll remember by looking at the picture which component's which. Or even some days when my memory is particularly not great, I'll put the bags right in front of me next to each other on the floor, like if I'm doing a live or something, and have them right there grouped together so I can go, okay, that one is that one. But using the phone camera was really helpful for that. Oh, nice, Paul. It helps because I'm getting to where now I can open a tin or a jar months later and go, oh, I know what that is, just by seeing the components. So that helps. So when I take a picture, I'm like, okay. And I've always had a photographic memory, so a lot of times I can remember putting that component in here, and that'll help a lot. Only problem is when I don't remember it. Then it doesn't help me at all. All right, so I do have just enough for another bowl of this. I've been getting better at blending smaller batches because I've got two Ziploc bags packed, like the full sandwich bags, and then a bowl of just Frankenstein blends. And I hate seeing that. I'll still smoke them, but I hate seeing that much left over. Email me, DDT. That is fantastic. That is really fantastic. Oh, and the note just coming up from the pipe smells amazing. So now I'm going to take those components, put them together. There. That is wonderful. Mystery tobacco. No grape for me. That is my new favorite. Mouth-watering. That Latakia where you can kind of get a hint of it, get that flavor, and then the smell with the Turkish is killer. The pipe note is fantastic. It smells like a cigar. Some Artie Bob knives. I've got some aged from June of last year. I'm saving for Everett. It does not improve with age, but I am saving it for Everett. Hey, Dark Lord, how you doing, brother? Doing very good. A little tired, but had an outstanding day. Oh, nice, Papa Bear. And you remind me. Um, so if I ever send you guys something, whether it's blend samples or a pipe or whatever, reviews you guys have done, I have in playlists. All my videos and lives, everything gets put into playlists. There's also playlists with there's one random funny content. I think I have like 20 playlists. Things are categorized so they're really easy to find if you're looking for reviews or instructional videos. I've got a really great one, a instructional video on how to get started on like what to look for pipes and stuff. And that it's about a 30-minute video, but it is packed with really nice content. That's one I'm really proud of. But there's a bunch, everything. I think I have around 1,100. I do have a lot of videos I have blocked because people were, well, one person was trying to do things they shouldn't do, I guess I should say. So I blocked content so they couldn't get information. But it was on blends. It's not a big deal. And don't forget that on random Saturdays during my live, there will be random giveaways. It'll be around 4 samples or so of some of my blends in envelopes. And a lot of the time, if it's not a specific blend or set or whatever, a lot of times you can pick the types you're looking for and I can get them out to you. So far, the winners of that starting was DDT and Zippo. And unless I forget, they won't be on Tuesday lives. They'll be on Saturdays, so more people have the opportunity, and it'll be random. But it's gonna be fun. It's already been fun. Hey, I was good. I was almost ornery, but I was good. Same as this. I usually go for 10 or 11 p.m. Eastern. The initial plan Tuesdays, it's basically Tuesday is after the Google Meet, so sometimes that's around 10:30 p.m. Eastern because sometimes they do run a little bit over. Saturday, typically it's 10:30 Eastern. It's 10 or 11, typically 10:30. Usually we'll have friends visit Saturday for a little while, and it's kind of when they get going, I'll start. But it's never later than 11 p.m. Eastern unless there were technical issues or something, because that's happened a couple of times. But similar time to this. Oh, this is a good blend. That Kentucky, it's nice and smoky. Has a damn near, it's crazy. It smells almost like cigar incense. Very good. But Tuesdays and Saturdays. So Tuesdays, I have the Google Meet Tumultuous Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And then the live follows that, usually 10 p.m. Eastern. And Saturdays, the same kind of deal. Yeah, and I got to be at Papa Bear's. I had to miss his second live, and I hate that I missed it. Yeah, sounds fun, man. It's fun to do, and samples don't totally kill you on the bank account. And I'll tell you this too, because when I did a giveaway for 100 subscribers, by that time I hit 200. Did the giveaway. We did 3 or so drawings, and I gave a ton of stuff away. But as a recipient, I mean, it can be a sandwich bag of one sample. It could be 2 samples. It can be whatever you want to give. And if anybody has any fits about it, they can go to heck, because when someone gives you something, you say thank you and you appreciate it. You don't gripe about it. So don't get too pressured. Everything counts. That's what I'm trying to say. It all counts. And as long as we have you to share a pipe with, that's what matters. That sounds good, man. That's a good one, Dan. Oh, nice, man. That's the same way for me. I had no idea the YTPC was going to be this fantastic. And we've had trolls here and there and whatever, and drama and just dumb stuff, but I just try to stay away from all that. Then it's pretty peaceful. And it's peaceful. Yeah, I gotta send Dark Lord stuff. So I'll do blending the next couple days, and be in touch with DDT and Hunter and Papa Bear. Yeah, it'll be good. So I'll do some blending, and it'll be nice. And maybe even Dark Lord. I know Dark Lord. I said, yeah. Gosh, sorry. This smells really good. If the fan blows the smoke towards my nose while I'm puffing on this, I swear I get this slight sensation of, you guys remember those really amazing, like, shark fruit snacks? My grandma had them, and they had the great white shark, and that was like the best one. But then I also get smoky and smooth. It's weird, but it's really good. Oh, cool, man. Yeah, I got a hook dark that I gave him a few blends. One was Irish coffee, and that was the one he liked the most. So I have to get him. I didn't know what he would like, so I gave him a few varieties to try to figure out what he'd like, because I don't want to send him a bunch of time and go, oh, I don't like any of these kinds. So now that I know more of what he likes, a good idea what kind of stuff to send him. My signal's all good. Could be a break in internet, but this time on my side, it seems like it's pretty good. I've had times when we have storms here that it'll do that, or if our internet just goes out, it'll do that. But so far, mine's working. I've had times when it ends the live and then it ends the live and then it doesn't tell. I don't see that it ended, and I'll sit here and talk for half an hour and go, "Why is nobody talking back?" Nice, Dan. Ours was like that most of the time, and then when I got to be a teenager early on, or it must have been when I was around 10 or 11 or something like that. Then she was carrying, I was like, finally, she's carrying snacks in the household that I want to eat. No, she always had, cheese and crackers and stuff like that. Oh, nice, GDT. I used to enjoy that. They're saying, the closer it is to rotten, the sweeter it is, which is true until it's not. Sweet and sour. My goodness. Well, that's awfully nice of you, Paul. I appreciate that, man, and I'll include some samples when I send your pipe out. I'll add some stuff to it. Oh, gotta love the root beer barrels. We had a neighbor that lived 2 houses down where I grew up, and he always would offer you popcorn or butterscotch or root beer. He let you get a choice, and some days he'd have popcorn. He'd just make the bag, and if a kid came by to say hi, he'd give him the bag of popcorn. A really great old man. We always had, my grandpa always loved the Werther's Originals, so we had those around, and those were amazing. I ate the heck out of those. Yeah, then I got those butterscotch candies and the root beer barrels, and I always particularly looked forward to when he had root beer barrel candy around. And I think he was in his mid 80s, and just one of those nice guys that just wanted to give and appreciated people. Yeah, the old pop cap candies. Those were good. Yeah, my grandparents always had the nice candy dishes, and you're like, you're serving candy in these, not a really fancy appetizer. Nice, Bob. Yeah, the I haven't looked at some of those really this month that much, but a few months ago I was, and I made a blend. It's funny you said dust. I made a blend that smells like when you turn on a car that's been off for a while and you get that dust that makes you kind of swallow. I actually had to write it down because it's a good blend, even if I don't prefer tasting or smelling the dust. The fact that it's so accurate made me have to write it down. So I do have a blend that is dust, or I think I called it dirt. Yeah. So if there is a person out there who wants to taste dirt in a tobacco blend, I made that blend. I just will have to find a person who wants it. I didn't like butterscotch early on, but I grew to love it over a short period of time. And I really love pepper, like spearmint. If it's the right mint, I like it like 2 or 3 of them and then none for a while. And then they have those strong ones that are great. Oh, Maduro, nice. I have some Maduro. So this is cool. So there was a deal they had on pipes and cigars for those McBaron jars, and I had the deal. Basically, it came out to if you got that pound with that jar, the jar was a 10-cent difference than if you were to go get another pound of something on its own. So I put aged Maduro Cavendish, and it's been in there for 2 years now, maybe 2.5. And I still blend with that a little bit. I try not to use it much because it's fantastic. But that's really good. Lane and Dulo is made with Dominican cigar leaf, and it tastes very close to Seattle Pipe Club bourbon barrel aged. I think a little bit less topping kind of a taste or feel, but it's really close. Oh my gosh, DDT. Smells like new car smell. That's true. See, I keep that in mind. You're right, Hunter. It could be a person going, I really wish there was a really earthy blend. And this isn't even like the earthy, it's just dust. Yeah, I don't know how I'd feel about smoking that either. Well, and some reviews are crazy, and I'm sitting there reading them, and I'm like, have you smoked that tobacco? Because your review is not accurate. When they get on that kick where the same reviewer who's probably written 1,000 reviews is kind of burnt out of it, and they kind of word them all similar and give them a very skewed or left to the imagination kind of review, and they're, yeah, it tastes like this, or the Rumo to this. I've smoked that. It doesn't have half of what you said. And the other half of what you said, you left out. I haven't tried C&D cigar leaf, but I have smoked cigars. I've even blended with some that I broke up, and the aged Maduro and Lane and Dulo, they're stronger, but I haven't had particularly C&D cigar leaf. So I don't know how theirs is. But if it's anything half like Lane and Dulo and any other cigar leaf that I've used in blending or whatever, it should be good. Should be strong and should be good. Yeah, pretty much, Hunter. Nice. Yeah, I've even jarred some. I've got some in a jar that's like parts of 3 of my favorite cigars. Yeah, I don't feel like I think maybe that they should label those um, first smoke or something. And I've done some blends where I can tell the what it's like from one smoke, but most of the blends, if you haven't smoked them 2 or 3 bowls, you might miss something. You want to retrohale. That's something I forget half the time. You want to retrohale and know what and tell somebody what that's like. If it's a harsh one or a nice or smooth one, um, I always try to retrohale, room note, what the blend smells like on its own. One thing that'll unlock some flavor that a lot of people don't do. I'll relight this and I'll do it. So I'll do a retrohale. Now that's a stout retrohale. Very, almost a fruity hint. Pretty tasty. Kind of just scorch it a little, so I'll do a new slower one. Oh, that's much better. So the retrohale is pretty phenomenal. And then I'll also puff and breathe in my nose. So I'll go. And sometimes you'll pick up stuff that you missed the rest of the time. So the retrohale with that gives it almost a slightly grassy note, and then you also get almost that sensation of that pistachio, Dan, that really lucrative, hard to find in a blend kind of note. There's a little hint of that if you do it just right. That's fantastic. That's a good blend. See, that is noteworthy. Did it again. I don't know. That's very good. It just leaves your mouth watering. It doesn't leave any lingering real flavors. You're just like, that's good. I need another bowl. Oh, that makes sense. That actually helps, Paul, because I did the retrohale and I got this almost what is it called? Almost sort of cologne kind of hint. Man, and that does add something to it. It actually solidifies that, okay, it wasn't I was thinking it was like this. It confirms it. And then it's just great anyway. But it's burning like most of my blends do to a fine white ash. Floral. Thank you. I don't want to say perfume because it's not that strong. Yeah, very nice, light floral, but wonderful retrohale. If you scorch it, it's hard. It's not harsh. It's stout, but it doesn't. It's not too unforgiving. That's nice. It gets to the line where it could almost be soapy, but then it shifts to like that nuttiness of the pistachio blend, that little bit of creaminess almost. It's really good. Oh my gosh. DDT. Yeah, so you learn something new every day. So Paul taught me that if there's a hint of something, it might be more of a hint to somebody else just simply by moving your tongue side to side while retro. Cool. that's funny, Papa Bear. That's true, man. I love Perique. I've had dark burley can get you because you really pick up the nicotine more in the retrohale. That's funny. Fantastic. Thank you for the tip. Awesome tip, man. I will try to relay that to people. I can't guarantee I'll remember it because I often forget to do retrohales. But I'm thinking that probably when I do a retrohale, I'll remember it now. I thought you said offices, and then I pictured you meant orifices, and you actually did put orifices. I know the other evening my cat scratched the heck out of me. Latakia Dave. really loves outside. And by that, I mean he loves sitting by a window, or he loves if you hold him with his head like an inch outside past the doorway. And the other day, he was smelling the air and smelling the door frame and smelling more air. And there were birds nearby watching him, and then they were flying. And from just a buildup of noise from cattle way over the hill to birds, just the sound building up was making him anxious. And one of the neighbor kids came running around the corner of the house. So he heard the footsteps getting louder. And he knows the kid. He saw him, but he just freaked out. It was just too much for him. He got overwhelmed. And so he clawed the heck out of me. I wouldn't let him go because when he was outside last time, he got terrified and hid under the deck, and I had to try to find him had to try to get him for like an hour. He's always been living inside. Before he was here, he grew up inside. That's just what he's used to. He would not do well here because he'd run and cower in fear and something would end up eating him. So he's inside anyway. But he clawed me all up. So my wife said, well, let's see the scratches. She goes, goodness. And she's like, and I thought, I think initially she meant goodness because the scratches were pretty good. But then she goes, I didn't know you had so much belly hair. And I was like, come on. She's like, you didn't used to have that much belly hair. And I'm like, quit trying to call me. I understand, Dan. And this one's nice, Dan, because if you don't retrohale, you don't get the floral. So it's pretty great. You'd have to retrohale a few times and kind of work at it to get any floral, but otherwise, so that's what I like. So if I don't want the floral, I can just smoke it like I normally do, and I'll probably even forget to do the retrohale and won't get the floral. So that's surprisingly nice about this blend. Sometimes I don't mind that if I made a blend and I know it's a good one, if there's a floral note or if that's the goal. But this one really didn't have a goal. I just wanted it to be good. And yeah, the room note smells great, doesn't it? Smells almost like some kind of cookie dough. A little bit. And a hint of fruit, which I still can't place, but that's good. Yeah, I know. Soon. I know this has been. My wife said, when are you going to trim that? And I said, I can go trim it right now. And then she says, no. But one time I answered her, when it gets down to my belly button, I'll consider trimming it. But I had a period of time I was pretty anxious in my sleep, and I was pulling hairs. And I hate that. It became a habit for a short time. But you can't always control what you do in your. Well, the first two retrohales are smoky, very Kentucky, little bit of Latakia. But about the fourth, you get a hint of floral. So this may not be a blend for you. About the fourth, you get a hint of floral. And then fifth, as it builds up, you get more towards floral. So that might ruin the blend for you if you end up doing that and then going, nope, I'm now associating the blend with that, That's true, DDT. I'm in favor of that. More bacon is good. Otherwise, Dan, this is if I just puff and then smell the puff, it's like it's much more like that pistachio. It's like smoke and then pistachio. So it's kind of like smoked pistachio. Maybe that's what this will be called, because it really is a lot like that. Till you retrohale, it's a lot like that. I saw that. I was so jealous, Paul. I told my wife, I'm like, look what he's eating. I'm like, that's a shame. I'm gonna have to eat that. We had already had steak, so I'm like, now I'm gonna have to bacon wrap the next steak. Oh, that's funny. Well, the hip replacement part, I'm sorry that that's coming up for you. And I really wish the best for you and hope it's going well. Hope that it goes well. I've heard lots of good cases about hip replacements and even knee replacements. So I'm hoping it's really good for you and is everything you need. Yeah, I had surgeries. I had a colostomy for a while, and they had to shave me, and I you know I looked down, but when you had all that morph, I'd look down to try to see the colostomy in the bag and all that stuff. And while I was in my first stay, which was 5 weeks or something, 5.5, I don't remember exactly, but I could look down and I just wouldn't register what was there. So I'd sit down, I'd look, and then just go back to sleep or do whatever. And I could never really see. And I'd have people, friends come visit and come look at it. They're like, oh, they'd be like, can I see it? And I'm like, yeah. And I didn't even know what I was showing them. And then later on, I looked down and I was like, I don't have any. They shaved me. I don't have anything left. Yes, think positive, because that actually does end up making a huge difference in recovery, at least in my experiences, because I've had enough surgeries. Positivity makes it a whole lot better. Dude, it's crazy. Like we're all learning new stuff. I even learned something. I thought I knew everything. Throw that book out the window. Nice. Very good to hear, Hunter. My mother she fell and broke one hip, and within a year fell and broke the other hip and her wrist on that side. And she was never negative. She did all the therapies, everything she needed to do, followed what she listened to her body as well as her doctor, and did what she could. And she was positive the whole way, and she's doing good. She's still at home. She's got herself back really well, and she's doing good. Yeah, keep your sense of humor and positivity. I mean, one time I had a colonoscopy. I think it was the second one I did. I was so burnt out over that BS. And then my doctor didn't share information with my other doctor. It was a big mess, but I won't go into the politics of that BS. And afterward, I was recovering. Well, I didn't realize that because as part of my seizures, that's why it's harder for me to recover. It takes a long dang time. And so when I go on those meds, a lot of times I go into a silent seizure while I'm sleeping, and that lasts hours sometimes. So my recovery may be several hours more than it's supposed to be. And they were trying to wake me up, and apparently I had been in recovery for like 6 hours. It should only be. And my wife was everyone's trying to wake me up. And she knew what I meant. That's why I love her so much. Because when you're trying to protect yourself, like if you're sick or something's going on and you know it's fairly serious, you're always protecting yourself. You're kind of thinking, everybody else just leave me alone. I got to take care of something. And I remember being half asleep or half semi-conscious or whatever. And she's like, come on, we got to go. And my wife, my nurse said it, my eyes were closed. I flipped my wife off. And she just starts laughing. And the nurses are all giving me a dirty look, apparently, is what she said, that they gave her a look like your husband's an a-hole. And she's just laughing because she got it. She's like, that he's stubborn, tell him to do something. It's harder for him to want to do it than if he just does it on his own. She gets it. But it's hilarious. I'm like, not many guys, I think, could flip their wife off and still be given a damn about. Nice, Dan. Oh, I didn't know you were 76. Well, Smarty Bob, from what I've had to chat with you, you don't appear 76 to me, so that's really good. Awesome, Paul. Well, when I was when I first had what's it called? So I had a common cold, but West Nile had weakened my immune system enough that the cold became necrotizing fasciitis, and I had to deal with that. That was active in me for long enough, and I lucked out. And there's a medication that worked. It's made up of 4 different things, and they used it on 2 people with success. So they tried it on me. It's 50-50 that it'll work. And it worked, so I didn't have to have anything amputated, thank God. And my doctor was surprised. He said, seeing everything, and my legs were in terrible shape. Muscle was missing, tendons weren't there. There was a lot of problem for a long time. And my doctor said, I thought you'd be here in a wheelchair. I did not. He said, you're walking on sitting muscle. Like, he said, you don't have muscle to do squat. It's not in good shape. This isn't good. And I was very fortunate, and the positive attitude helped a lot. Yeah, I don't know really where I was going with that, to be honest, because I'm half tired. But things will get better over time. And everything just improved, and now my legs are doing really good. Pipe smoking helps. Nicotine helps with inflammation. It's just, things are good. But oh yeah, this is where I was going. They told me I had the legs of a 67-year-old, and at the time I was 25. So I'm feeling age, but I'm also stubborn and fight it as much as I can. You are in my prayer circle. It's a huge circle that's almost more like a horseshoe because it grows every day. They're much better now. They don't therapy and exercising didn't work because my legs are more like a rubber band. So like when normally you exercise, you tear muscle and build new muscle, and my legs are more where if you stretch them, they're like a rubber band. They go back. So for example, if you did a whole day of exercising, or say you did a really long walk every day of the week, you'd eventually build muscle. And for me to build muscle, what might take somebody 2 or 3 weeks might take me a year and a half. So it's a lot better than it was, and I have gotten some muscle back over the years. But they were pretty bad. I was wearing, even in 80 degrees, I had to wear thermals and leggings and sweatpants under jeans, like very sensitive to temperature. So they're much better. Oh, I missed something. I'll check on my phone. Hey, Ron, welcome in, brother. Let's see. Holy cow, Ron. Well, cheers to that doctor doing the right thing. Oh, cool. So they were able to reverse it. I had one for 3 months, so I was very lucky. I fell off a piece of machinery and a broom went into my pelvis and punctured my bowel. So that was pretty critical because I came close to arteries. I was out here. I had to take care of myself for a little bit, drive myself home. It was a mess. That's a story for another time because it's a long story. But I understand completely. I told people I had a colostomy at the hospital. They say, "You have any surgeries?" I say, to me. And they'd say, "Oh, you mean colonoscopy?" I said, "No, colostomy." They're like, "Well, that's a bag." I'm like, "No, I really had a colostomy." So I was homeschooled for part of the year in high school because I tried to go back to school and I just couldn't do it. I didn't have the strength. Yeah, I got scars, and it's funny. My dad had cancer twice, and so he has all these scars too, some similar to mine. So he'd be like, "Where'd you get yours from?" And I'm like, "This one, a samurai cut me up my belly, and this one was a gunshot, and this was a knife wound, and these were from acupuncture." I'm gone wrong, just all sorts of random stuff. The hip replacements, that's awesome. Yeah, that Terry was hilarious. He was really lively and on fire in that Google Meet. Yeah, that is scary because I don't know. I feel terrible for you, Ron, but also comforted a lot that she made it. Um, those are times where I feel like God put people in certain places for a reason. So when there are people that don't believe in God, that's fine. Everybody's up to their own opinion. But I believe in him because I've had so many miracles happen. There's not much of a chance I should be here. The seizures I had, one of my friends knows a person that had, well, Dark Lord knows someone that had their first seizure ever and it wiped her out. That was it. Um, so, God's around. If he wasn't around, then most of us wouldn't be around, I'm sure. Oh, nice, Papa Bear. Yeah, Smarty Bob, it's been it's been a life. It's been a medical issues from pretty young age, from I won't go into everything, but asthma and skin issues and a few accidents here and there that counted. And then my 20s, man, were just like, what the hell's going on? West Nile did a whole lot. I had to relearn speech. A lot of times I get loud. I'll get quiet and then loud, quiet then loud. because then I can resonate off the last word I said and know where I'm going. So I'll build my sentence as I'm going. So if I was going to say something like, "How are you guys doing today?" It isn't just saying the sentence, "How are you guys doing today?" It's getting from these 2 or 3 words to these, to these, to these. So I'm getting a lot better at it, much better at it. But I forgot stuff. I grew up farming and I learned how to set fencers. I did it 1,000 times. Couldn't hook one up on the phone with my dad. He was telling me, "Yeah, you got this wire." I'm like, "Yep." "You got this wire?" "Yep." "That goes to this goes to this." And it just wasn't sticking with me. So it was crazy, but memory was the biggest thing. Leg pain, pipe smoking has saved me immensely. CBD um, daily helps me so much. Helps circulation. Actually helps with preventing the development of cancers, which is cool. It helps with so much. And then I've got the dang ulcerative colitis, and it helps with that. And nicotine helps with that. Helps swelling stay down so I don't have as many bad episodes as, I just have a couple of half a day things. Oh yeah, I love Marlin Flake. That is fantastic stuff. Oh, thank you, Hunter. That is so nice. And he did. And I know none of you guys are griping and I'm not griping. It's just part of the story, part of what happened. Wow. And we've had our share of hard luck and our share of miracles. And that's, Mabu's on borrowed time technically. I'm on borrowed time. My mom's on that side of things. She's outlived, other than her older sister, she's outlived both her parents. Well, her mom's age. They don't have a long life expectancy, and she's in her 70s. So you take every day as the blessing it is. Every day is a gift, and that's why it's called the present. That is a great question, Smarty Bob. Oh, I understand, Paul. Yeah, it's so weird. I never thought. I'm only 34. I never thought that at 25 I was going to be hit with a freight train of health issues. And West Nile, then everything's subsiding, and apparently I've had seizures a few times, 2 times a year, every once in a while. Didn't know what they were. My parents had me get an EEG. It didn't show, so they ruled it out. The hospital should have, and we had better staff back then, they should have investigated it more, but they didn't. It was understandable. They checked, they said, "No, it's not that. He just needs more sleep or this or that," and that was it. And West Nile increased the seizures by 15, well, 15 times what it is. So 1,500%. It is what it is. What could. Yeah, I make jokes about it all the time. I'll see something and I'll say, especially because I have seizures, I'll see something a certain way on a show and I'll be like, "What does that do? It looks like he's having a bunch of seizures." But you got to keep humor. Yes, humor is amazing. Very true, Dan. Good wisdom there, buddy. Amen to that, Dan. Yeah. And this is why I like chatting with you guys, because none of us are, as you say it, you feel, damn this, damn that, but none of us are, outright complaining, though we all do have the right to. And I love that so much, Papa Bear, that you're becoming a dad. What a damn blessing. And it breaks my heart. I'm not going to ask anybody where they stand. I'm not going that route. I just say it this way, that if God blessed you with children, you need to recognize your blessings and man up and accept it and do the right thing. This BS where you can't even tell anybody to man up or buck up or do whatever. God gives you kids. That's a gift. You don't say, oh man, I don't want kids, I'm going to do this or that. You've just been giving the greatest blessing in life. And I don't care how people got it. Maybe it was a one-night stand or something that shouldn't have happened or whatever. But you and that kid now have each other and you're in common. You got something amazing. And damn it, sometimes I got to tell myself, here's an example. So I cut my thumb. You can see the scar. Nice gouge. I got pipe stain on my hands with that wood tool. And I could have gone, oh yeah, we need to go get stitched, Dad. This is really bad. Oh my gosh. I told myself, don't look at it. I grabbed snow, put it on there on a napkin, because that was what my dad had for bandages before he could go to his other shop or aid kit. And I held snow on it and just held it for a while and calmed down. And I'm like, just buck up and get over it. And that worked. Sometimes you need to just tell yourself, just tough through it. You're going to be fine. So telling people, oh, go whine, it'll fix your problems. I've whined before. And most of the time, that isn't what you need. Sometimes you need to be like, get through it. Come on, you can do it. So literally, God bless you, Paul, and all of you here. We are all blessed. I was thinking the same thing this week, Hunter. Exactly. This idea of people get pregnant and they want to cancel it or whatever, it's bullshit. They go, oh, they ought to make it legal to do this and do that. You know what is already a freedom? They go, I want choice. I need freedom of choice. You had a choice. You chose to fuck somebody. Whether you're the guy or the girl. You chose to do that. So now it's that idea that nobody has any consequences. That's bullshit. You ought to know it's a risk. I feel the same way, Hunter, because that's what it is. In my book, if it's freedom of choice, where's the child's choice? You chose to make it. Even if you didn't intend to, you chose to. So that's how I feel about it. So God bless you and your wife, Paul. God bless you and your wife, Ron. I'm glad she's doing better and you guys have made it through a really difficult place. Very true, Smarty Bob. Here we are having great conversations about things we all made it through. It's a good reminder that people are tougher than they think. But you just keep going. No matter what happens, you keep going. That's what I tell myself all the time is, well, you just keep going. If there's a day I can't go out and do what I want to do, I just keep going. Get through the day. Do something. Even if it's just picking up, you get papers and odds and ends and stuff that falls around, makes your house look messy, or even if it's something as simple as, well, I'm going to organize. If you do one thing each day, you can at least sleep good knowing you did something, even if it was difficult. You do what you can. That is a whole lot of wisdom in one statement, Hunter. Oh, that's a great saying, Paul. I've never heard that one. Oh, that's similar, Bob, to what my dad says. He goes, when you're there, you'll be there. And when you're there, you'll be here, and all sorts of stuff like that. But he always said it the right way at the right time. Because, Dan, they don't know the way the real world works. And all this stuff about wiping people out early, like I'm sorry, that's BS. That's BS. If for some reason a person can't keep the baby, whatever country they're in, whatever, there are places you can give them that will find them a home. There are lots of foster parents available. There are lots of people who want to adopt. We have several friends who want to adopt. At least it's better than not being given a chance at all. I understand, DDT. And you're blessed right there. There you go, Hunter. Well, think about there's a really popular theory that's got a lot of science backing it up. And I know over the years, science has skewed things one way or the other, or lied about this or that, but there's a lot of truth in most science done. And they figured we came from around 600 people at one point where there were almost no people left. What if they all went pro-choice and decided, well, I don't want to have kids? None of us would be here. If ancestors didn't keep going, none of us would be here. So I thought about making a video, but I didn't want to get political. That was basically saying something like, just want you all to think about this. Anybody seeing this video is a non-aborted fetus. I almost wasn't here. My brothers and I almost weren't. My middle brother almost died. He stopped breathing at 2 months old. So my parents rushed him to the hospital in their undies. And my dad almost couldn't have kids. They did a surgery and he was able to, but the chances he could have them, there's so many chances against us. The fact that you're here just alive on earth, not even just here at this moment. The chances of us being even here and being alive is like 1 in a trillion, something like that, or 300. It's a big damn number. 1 in 300 million or some sort of, it's bigger than that. It's a crazy number. And yet here we are. And there's the definition of hope. But guys, I'm going to head out because I'm getting tired. Mabu's ready for bed. And I want to thank you all so much for sharing your time here with me, for sharing smokes and laughs and great conversation that you almost can't have anywhere, it seems, without being called something. But God bless you all and continue to bless you. Remember, God will never hand you anything you can't handle. Everything that comes your way is something through one way or another. And thank you guys. God bless you. Paul, I'm very proud of you, man. I'm very pleased you're able to have the blessings you've had and handle it with such a great way. Dan, I'm sorry you're living with pain. I'm very grateful your child was able to be conceived and still birthed and still going. Ron, I want to thank you because not only did you help me find out about the stems and the copper caps I was looking for, so thank you for that. But I want to thank you with sharing those times with us, with your wife, because I don't know how, I don't know how I would get through anything happening with Mabu. I don't. If it happens to me, I'm fine because I will tough through it. I will do what I can. It happens to her, it's hard for me to imagine. I came close to losing my dad, and I still don't know if I would have been able to handle losing him at the time we were going to lose him. I wouldn't be over it for the rest of my life. Yes, perfectly worded, Paul. You guys are all in my prayers as well. Oh man. And that's an amazing feat right there, Ron. God bless you for staying strong. Yeah, my dad had Hodgkin's lymphoma. Your kidneys are about this big from your wrist up. His was 7.5 pounds, so he had basically a baby. He ate like half a bite of toast, and that was his breakfast for the day. It turned out he had cancer. And because of that cancer, here's where God's miracles happen. And anybody can try to debate this, I don't care. Because he had that cancer in his spleen, they discovered a node of cancer developing in his lung. That cancer was projected to expand and just totally devastate his body. So because he got the cancer in his spleen, it actually saved his life. That's a miracle. And Dan, I respect you for that, brother. I appreciate you guys, and I don't want to burden anybody with mine either. It felt good to get it out with a group of people who just aren't going, oh, stop this and that. Feels good to talk about it sometimes. But I understand. There's a lot that I won't go into detail either, and you guys are the same way. You just share what you're comfortable with, and if you aren't, that's fine. But that's amazing, Ron. I look at it and celebrate the triumphs and the good things that happen from it. So I'm very glad to get to know all of you. Awesome, Bob. That's a good one. But you're all right in my book. No matter what, you guys are all right. Not just all right, like okay, but I mean right. You are all correct. To each their own. But you guys have a beautiful night. Have the best week you've ever had. Take some time to relax and enjoy a good pipe each day if you can, or however often you smoke, because there's no wrong time to smoke. And I'll catch you in the next one. Thank you for your time, and be well.